Welcome to the fourth video while working on the Bedclock application. If you didn't watch the previous three videos, you can find them in my channel where we started this application, which were the reasons and which decisions we've been taking. All of them take around 40 minutes each. And today we'll continue with the application at the point where we left yesterday. Basically, this morning I was thinking that I don't have it pushed anywhere. So yeah, we've been working in this Git repository, and we have different commits of everything, but we don't have somewhere to push it. And this is what I was thinking on doing. I was just gonna create a new repository, and I wanted to do it offline, but then I thought, okay, I'm doing the full thing online. The only thing I'm taking offline is some thoughts while doing other things. So this is why I'm doing it right now. So I'm creating the Bedclock, here a Flutter application to calculate bedtime based on good sleep or on sleep time. Basically, I'll do it private initially. I don't think I'm doing it fully public yet, if ever. No readme, no git ignore, no license, so just create that, and from here it creates the repository and I have it here. So you can either do this or that. In this case, since I already have an existing repository in my local, I'll just need to add this part. I'm doing it with SSH because I already have the SSH keys configured from my laptop to this account. But otherwise you could do it with HTTPS and it would require you to use the credential or some token. So I'm going with this one, HTTP SSH. I'll make sure we are here with status. We don't have anything, so I'll add that one. I'm continue on master. I was just nothing, git push u origin master. The origin is important because we added this remote. We can call it differently in the different places, but whatever we put in here is what we need to put in here. And we said that we want to put it in master. It's pushing things, and the next time I refresh in here, we have the content. So again, this is still private, so you may not see it. Well, may not, no, you will not see it, but at least we have it pushed somewhere in case my laptop just breaks or anything. We have it reusable, or we can continue from this point. So from yesterday, if you recall, we implemented the storage service. Now we wanted to implement the notification service, and this is what we are going to do. We are creating a new chat and tell that I want you to implement the notification service and use it in any place from the current project that can benefit from it. Use the less external dependencies possible, always in their latest versions, and yeah, just that. Let's see what it actually does, because we wanted to fix these notification things plus the problem, but the problems were mainly these, the notifications, and the onboarding route. So this one will fix it really easy. For today, if we can make it work with notifications, we'll have the whole thing all put together, and then we'll be able to create the application, I guess, and submit it for review. Okay, it's doing some checks. It has found it's gonna scan the things, add this service with minimal dependencies, and wire into the most relevant existing flows. Perfect. It has found the service. Perfect. It looks which parts it's using to wire properly. There is a to-do to hook for notification. That's good. I'm now checking onboarding and related flows to also apply the service where it adds value. I guess that basically what it does is we should somehow put these notifications on place for this scheduler, and that you can replace when this notification appears. Also, we'll need to check which of the dependencies it's gonna use. So if we go with notification, we'll see there's this one, it's already discontinued. Toastification, flashbird, elegant. I'm not into those actually. Notifications in plural, maybe. Yeah, Firebase messaging is an option. Flutter local notifications, this one I used it in the past, so let's see if it goes with that. It's still active. It goes with Android and iOS. It's the Flutter favorite. It has quite a few downloads here, but yeah, it has identified the concrete integration points. So initialize notification infrastructure at app startup, schedule and cancel reminders from settings where the to-dos already exist, and keep the schedules in sync when onboarding writes initial bedtime settings. Verifying the current plugin APIs before editing so we can stay on latest versions with minimal extra packages. I guess that if we go into the pub/spec file, that is where the dependencies are defined, not the log but the YAML. The log is when you install them, it keeps exact versions, the ones you are using. So here, yeah, we may see that it didn't install anything earlier. So let's see how this wants to do it. It's using, yeah, Flutter local notifications, yes. That it's exactly the same one as we were seeing here, Flutter local notifications. So basically it says that it's bumping the SDK versions to maintain the plugin, so okay. It says which supported platforms it has, Android, iOS, those are the two important, which features that are okay. Flutter notifications 21.0. Let's see what 21.0. We are now at 21.0. Perfect. Coverage and limitations, screenshots. So yeah, there are simple notifications. You can either put a text or the image, I guess. macOS and Linux. Okay. Some acknowledgements and how to set it up. So add some things for them, or intent filter. So those are the things that you need to define in your different configurations that you are gonna send notifications, because the user needs to at some point accept that they want to receive those notifications. And now it's updating the main Dart to also initialize things. Okay, yeah. We'll just, as we did in the previous steps or days, we'll just accept whatever it says, and then we'll see the changes from this part. Yes, we accept. We've seen that the problems have come up to 14, so we were at 3, we were backwards in that direction. Still, we will accept all those things and wait until all the completion is done. We see that we update the manifest, I guess, to add this permission here somehow. Yeah, it uses permission. It's analyzing. Okay, it's less than 13. I don't like that. But those usually are easy to fix. Those too many positional arguments or the name parameter settings it's missing, so it's not a too weird thing. Okay, and it already blames, so the Flutter analyze, I guess it will fail. It says that it expects settings and 2 things, and now it says that too many positional arguments. Maybe it's as simple as, because they are named parameters. Yeah, it's named parameters, it's using it as simple. So I'm not gonna be changing that because I want it to continue working, but basically those is that you are passing it as a normal parameter, like a function you would expect multiple params, then this is the first. If it goes with the time zone also, I'm not sure why, but okay. If you want it to be named, you can put settings and the actual variable here. So this is what it makes a change from being a name parameter or not. So this is a real simple thing. And I guess that if the name is the same as the variable, you can even put just like that, and it's a kind of a destructure of the variable. But I'm not fully sure if this also applies in Dart or if it's just a JavaScript thing. So we'll wait for this. Let's see what it has said. That it's adding the runtime notification permission declaration. This is what we saw. Then it has found that no direct schedule, so zoned schedule. And to add that, we use this time zone to make sure that it's, I guess, the time zone to the proper schedule of the user. Time zones are always a mess because, you know, not in this case, I guess, not that much, but when you have a web application that there is a server, or not only a web application, an application that relies on a server, then you need to make sure that the server date plus the client's date are aligned, because sometimes you have your server somewhere else and then you put, if in your server you take the time, it doesn't match with the time sent from the user. So those things are kind of messy. But in this case, since everything runs on the user's device, it should not be that hard. In the meantime, we see that, yeah, here it has put the name variable settings, and the problems has gone to just 1. Also the analyze went well, I guess, no issues found, cool. And the Flutter test, we are not implementing tests, so I'm not sure what will happen with that. So the only missing thing would be ensure onboarding route exists here on the top, and instead of that, I think that what we'll do is follow the same approach as we did yesterday, well, as the AI did yesterday around there, somewhere where we were using the exact variable instead of a hard-coded one. So let me see if I find in which one it was here. Yeah, the app roads.history, and the app roads is defined in here. So we'll do the same, I guess. Show navigation. Okay, yeah, Flutter test, sure. We'll go with this and say app roads. Let's see if it finds the import. No, it hasn't found the import, so I'll go with the imports. Now here we have the home. Yeah. Okay, cool. It was not what I was expecting. So approach onboarding, and then we already believe that happens. So all right, and with that, I think everything will be working fine. We refresh that, there's no problems, there are no to-dos, I guess, because otherwise they will be detected maybe as problems. Yeah, those are not actual to-dos. And yeah, we find some issues here. It seems that the local notifications are not properly initialized somehow. So we copy that, and maybe I guess the issue will be something similar to what we did in the main file. I'm not opened. Here we expect notifications initialized. When starting the application, I get the following error. Where it was? In settings page? No, the home page, I guess, home screen. What am I? Not here. I don't remember how to find exactly the point we are stopped at, but we should not be too far away. I mean, here, perfect. Notification service. In the notifications service, when awaiting plugin dot initialize. Perfect. It may be the same. Fuck, stop. I guess it will be the same issue as we were running on yesterday. I'll stop that. If I recall correctly from the previous chat, and I don't know if it was this one, not this one. Maybe this, yeah. We'll run a Flutter clean, a Flutter pub-get, and just like that, we'll just start it again, because sometimes it's just that there's this stale version on your application running in here, and it's not the one that you want. So we'll continue with this one, that is the current one. I stopped this one, so it's not doing anything. Here we see the application, it's like that, not working. So yeah, it takes a while now to load everything. In the meantime, we can check what has been doing. I'll keep that an eye on that every once and then. However, it should be a news here at the bottom. So there's a change in the pubspec YAML where we add the Flutter local notifications and the time zone. Then in the Android manifest, we add the user permission to post notifications. Also for the Mac OS and Windows, there's also this registry of the plugin. So it registers the plugin here and there. We don't care that much of Mac OS and Windows. We should check that everything works fine with iOS S2. I think that it should somehow add it in somewhere. So here we have the notes here, but iOS setup. No, I think that will enforce the requirement for application. The migration instruction from the Flutter theme can be found to meet the requirements found here. Okay, well, we'll just believe on the trust in the process. Okay, and everything has failed with exit code 1. Okay, we'll need to check what's happening. So we will start it again and see what's going on in there, just without it. On the top, we'll check the different changes. Here we are now adding for the instance, waiting for these notifications to be initialized, the instance, then it's synchronizing the daily bedtime. This is our service actually. So with this information on the settings, since the storage is already there, then in the onboarding screen, we just use the routes. This is our fix. On the setting screens, it's using the notifications. So it's synchronizing it every time that we do some changes, and when we toggle notifications, we sync those things instead of if they are enabled or not. And it cancels, it's using this is our manual change. The sync notifications, it's doing the actual thing. The subtract minutes does not work anymore for some reason. Okay, the notification service, there's an initialize that I'm not sure why it does this stuff. Okay, just put the image. It's expected to work with iOS too. It requests permissions for Android and iOS. It's synchronizing things. Okay, there's a channel to bedtime reminders. I mean, 30 minutes, it's bedtime. Okay, so the reminder plus the actual one, and a few methods like the subtract minutes that was removed from another place, and the different registrants. So it says the following. Now we'll remove it. and come back here. It doesn't compile due to the following error. So basically it's here is where we could be reading which is the issue. So we see that there are some issues that this dependency requires in the core library that want to be enabled for app. So it's reading this sugaring. Let's see if it says anything about the sugaring. Yeah, Gradle setup. So version 10 and the plugin now relies on the sugaring to support schedule notifications with backwards compatibility on older versions. Developers will need to update their application Gradle file to enable the sugaring even if they don't use schedule notifications. Please see the link on the sugaring for details. You can expand below to see the relevant portions based on if your app has a build Gradle or a build Gradle, blah blah. Let's see which one of ours we are using in this version. But yeah, it's already modifying things. I see that it's fixing both issues, enabling Android the sugaring and hardening the notification service so it safely skips initialization on unsupported platforms like web to avoid missing plugin. Perfect. So yeah, sure. Which new okay, yes. And yes, I guess we'll allow for a Flutter build to see what's and analyze. Yeah, so it's building now. Basically we see that it has added in the compile options the core library, the sugaring enabled true, and the dependencies is also the core library dependency. So while it's being analyzing and doing all that stuff, let's see again if this is what it has updated. We have the other one, so not this but this Kotlin, and we see is core library enabled true plus the dependency. So it's is core library plus dependency on 2.1.15 and 2.5 2.1.4. We'll trust that the 2.1.5 exists, but yeah, it's still running some things. In the meantime, what we'll do is, since it's already here, we'll go into main Dart and click on play. Not Gradle for Java, we don't want any external dependency more. You see that everything is there, so we start again, and it has started the debug session. So in the meantime, we'll go back to this run and run. But we see it's trying again. And no, it takes a while. So I don't know if there's any similar issue under its setup. For general setup, add the following to application method in the app delegate Swift iOS project. The runner app delegate Swift. While it runs, we'll go back here. Let's clear this up to see if anything changes. Flutter, macOS, not macOS, but iOS. iOS, runner, app delegate, Swift, and here it says that at the following lines, Objective-C or Swift, we have on Swift, so if available, UN settings, notification center. I don't know where exactly to put it. And here I guess is the difference. Application here did finish on this. I see. Okay, now it's starting things, so we see here the application is starting, and at least it compiles, so we will need to see if it works. We have the settings, tasks to allow. Then if we set the wake up time to 10 in the morning, 28, save, and we go back. Let's see what happens when 28 arrives. I don't know if it works still if we are open or not, but we see that we are 8 hours late. Okay, no, the thing is it's bedtime, so it's not that we need to go to sleep. So we will set again 29, and here we are moving 8 hours, so PM, 6 PM. Perfect. Now it has broken something. Perfect. So this is what I was expecting. In the notification service schedule bedtime reminders online ATA, I get the following exception. Now let's see if it finds any issue. It's not responding, so yeah, we allow it to check everything. We just will remove this part to make sure we don't have any changes we don't expect. You're right, okay, because this is when bedtime crosses midnight. No, can land in the past, and patching is scheduling to compute each reminder as its own next occurrence time of day, so both are always future dated. Perfect, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, sure, because we were having not the first, because we have a first reminder for the 30 minutes earlier, so for that reason I understand now it didn't work perfect. So I'll just restart the application, everything is restart again. We are 1 minute late, so what we are gonna do is wake up time. It's already 31, so save. It's 1 minute left. So when the time comes, let's see how this works. So at least the 30 minutes earlier notification will not be prompted. Instead, it will be executed for the tomorrow. So today we would be losing that 30 minutes earlier notification, but makes sense because there's no 30 minutes earlier time to do that. Let's see if this minute passes and what happens exactly with the application. So we are 0 minutes late. It's the moment. I guess we should have received a notification, but we didn't. So it okay, I heard the sound now. It's Bedclock, now it's 10:31. So perfect, it takes a while, but at least I got that part. That's good, it's working. Now with this, I'm gonna be checking, adding that, just asking according to the local notifications, I need to do some setup for iOS that you didn't apply. Am I right? No, without the am I right, just like that. Let's see what finds. again, I would expect that it does this thing of adding the current iOS user notification center current delegate and user notification current delegate self as unused, self as blah blah. But yeah, let's see what it says. It's app delegates, it's importing notification, and it's doing that exact thing that it says. Right. Perfect. So now we'll ask to analyze, but I already like that. Git add with status and git commit integrate Flutter notifications. I'm pushing it since now we have an actual repository in GitHub. So we have this working, and yeah, let's see what else do we have. So we have the different services, and I'm not sure why this clock service was meant to be. So I'm gonna check on the other screen since I may have some open things. Let me verify. No. Perfect. And if I ask why did we want the clock service, where would be used? You don't strictly need clock service for MVP, just more architectural cleanliness tool, not a feature requirement. Like it's doing all these parts, so maybe the timer periodic is already happening. Yeah, indeed, it has gone with this part and the minute tracker and everything. What clock service would do very small, it's do this. Then your home screen subscribes to it. Where would be used home screen and potential future users. So do you actually need it now? No. Cool. That is everything I wanted to hear. We'll remove this clock service initially since we don't want to over-engineer anything right now. It means in the project structure we will not have the service ticker now optional. For this one optional, we didn't do it either. Maybe the only thing I'll add this git status, git add git status. We don't need to do all those git statuses, just I'm used to it and it helped me ensuring that everything we are pushing is what I'm wanting to push or commit. So remove unnecessary clock service, git push, and now what we are gonna ask is in a new chat, because we don't expect to have the current context, we're gonna say within the project there is a widgets directory with empty files. Do you think we could take some parts of the existing screens into these widgets in order to reuse them across parts? Just like that. Let's see which ones they do, which ones they don't. And once I get this, I think that for today I'll be done. I'm gonna be compiling and building the APK and using it on my phone to see how it works. Then initially this application is not expecting to have any ads nor any payment method, just a simple application to make sure that everything works. And then, yeah, not a good application to monetize, I guess, initially. Then this may have some other products around it, like some pro features that allow you to do a, I don't know, a sleep study somehow. But yeah, we'll keep it like that. Let's see what it has said. So it has found the app scaffold, the screen shell, background color, radial gradient, safe area, horizontal padding used in blah blah, the primary button for sure, the section card, blah blah, and the calendar month. Perfect. Also worth soon. Yes. So the wheel time picker will also reuse it. So this way we will make sure this is what it says here, also worth extracting. So it's not something that was in the initial plan, but we had the issue that we wanted to make sure that, or I had the issue that I wanted to make sure that everything was the same, looking the same from the onboarding screen and in the settings. So if we reuse the same exact component or widget, we will be exactly sure that it takes what we say. So yes, I allow the app scaffolding. Let's see what exactly has added in there. App scaffold. So there's the background color, the body in the gradient. So maybe this will remove parts from all the files. Also the primary button. Okay, we'll leave that it does what it has to do. Then the third one, which one was the section card? I'm not sure which one was exactly, and then the calendar month. So the section card is a container with a box decoration and just a child. So the border with a border radius and a width. So okay, like the settings part, I guess. Now we strip calendar into calendar month, and finally, yeah, we allow this calendar month. So I get the idea of those things are to reuse. It's not exactly that we are reusing them across different screens yet, but at least we have the screen simplified so we don't have a very long classes or widgets. I think it would be best if we could even reuse it, but just removing lines, it's good. So for example, here we see in the home screen, we added 26 lines because we are using or calling the new two things that we are importing, but we removed 92 lines. So we made like around 70 or 65 lines less. It's easier for us to then read the thing. So if we go to home screen, it now takes still 335, so it's quite a few lines. But yeah, or this one, for example, in the history screen, we reduced around 200 lines. It's a huge change when you want to later maintain the different parts. And as I said, this is not the case, but if we wanted to reuse, it would make sense. On the settings screen, it's not too much. I was expecting more lines actually here in the settings screen, but I guess it will happen when we do the next component or widget that it was saying. So I'll go here and ask I'll copy this to ask it to do it whenever it finalizes all that stuff. Okay, it has migrated everything, it's built, verifying everything works. The setting screens for some reason it's failing. Yes, the onboarding it's only added 2 lines. I'm not sure why it's adding 2 lines but not using them. We'll need to verify what has actually added in there. Okay, now it's updating the things to use those things that it has imported initially. I don't know why it did it in 2 different steps. But yeah, more lines, okay. Those are the kind of refactors that are candidate to be done directly with AI without you having to read everything. But careful, because it's important that you have somehow automated. So this case is a simple application, but in my day-to-day, for example, there can happen a lot of regression. So now we've seen that we are removing hundreds of lines in total. So here we are changing around 500 to 600 lines, adding and removing. So it may be a lot of things that break, and they don't require to be a big break, and in this case it doesn't matter that much maybe, but it may happen a bit of a change, and if you are trying to follow an exact design system, or if you are trying to continue with exact instructions or something, then it may change your application. So perfect, everything now, no problems on here, because we were having some a few seconds ago if you go back to the video. So I'll restart and verify that everything continues working the same. So the application has been restarted. It looks similar. Here we have this bar. Okay. This other one that also works fine, I guess. And yeah, to go to bed. Perfect. Back to home. So everything seems to be working. What I'm gonna ask is what I copied before, also worth extracting a new file. The shared will time picker duplicated in which were. It's going slow now with this changes, I don't know why. Onboarding and settings. Onboarding and settings screens. New file / widget. Okay, so with that, this is what I want to do for today. I don't know if later at night I'll just continue working again a bit, maybe more offline, because what I want to do is to create an application or an account in the Apple Store, because I have one for Android but in the Google Play, but not in the Apple Store. I'm gonna be creating my app registration somehow, and then tomorrow we'll see how to publish them and how to properly advertise them. It's a bit of an issue, because in the Android scope you need to ask for people to test it, and it needs to be, I don't know how many people it requires, but I think it was around 10 people for 2 weeks testing every day and putting at least 5 minutes every day into the application. In the past, when I published those applications, I directly bought the services on Upwork of people that, or Fiverr, I don't remember what it was. I think maybe it was Fiverr. And I bought a guy from Pakistan who has some people in there, that a farm of users who verify every day and enter daily. I think it cost me around 30 euros, a bit less the last time I used it. But yeah, if you just take into account that it's for 2 full weeks, have 10 people working there for 5 minutes, not that much. Or if you have to do it yourself, I've seen there's a lot of places where you can do a chain of people. So if you want people to test your application, then you have to test other 9 applications for 15 days. So if you put those 9 applications for 15 days or 14 days, 5 minutes, it means 9 times 5, it's around 45 minutes. So you need to be for 1 complete hour every day for 2 weeks working on something. I think it costs more than those 30 euros that you need to pay. And I think it's less than 30, but around 30. So I don't know if in this case I want to do that and put it into testing too, or yeah, I'm not sure. Initially we'll work on the 2 applications, export them, make it work for us, test it with me and a few people around me, and then initially I'll also work on the iOS Apple Store account, because if I recall correctly, it's around iOS developer account, it's around 100 euros a year. Apple ID with 2-factor authentication, perfect. Yeah, I have blah 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 blah. 99 for individual, 299. So annually 99. 24 to 48 hours for individuals. Okay, I guess I'll need to go with these individual parts and do that. I do have an a MacBook. It used to work, then the screen broke, so I have it without actual screen, so it's not a MacBook anymore, it's just a desktop Mac, to call it some way. And for that reason I'm not using it that much, just this one that it's Windows, but yet it's a laptop that works, and I can bring them anywhere and make it work. So perfect. Let's see the settings, this one, how it looks. Great. If I reset data, we come back into this part. Perfect. So all good. I'll be removing this debug thing that we mentioned in the very first day. It was simple. You go to main Dart, not main, because we are now using the main app. And in the material app, you put the banner false. And yeah, we don't have it anymore, so we stop this because we don't need it anymore. Git status, git add, and we say reuse, move reusable parts into widgets, remove screens reusable parts into widgets, git push, and with that we have the application updated. So 15 minutes ago the last change, and now in the lib part we will need to work on a readme, and this is something that I will ask right now to do. I'll be removing all those confirm, because it's going slow. I'm not sure exactly if it may affect it anyway or not, but just we have now shut down the emulator. We don't have any history here, so based on the application, write a simple readme, yeah, nothing else. I was expecting to write a better prompt, but I'll see how this handles the different part and what it actually does. So it's checking, it's reconnecting. I don't know what reconnecting means. Close all the windows here. I only want now to have I guess all those logics parts could be removed. I'm gonna be asking here, and what were the logic directory files meant to do? Okay, it's verified the user flows, it's checking the storage, so yes, we allow any change. It's a simple one, 71 lines, good, not too many, but enough. This is exactly the clean, demystify the logic folder, a logic directory meant to isolate pure business rules from UI, things that don't depend on Flutter, don't depend on widget, are just math plus strict math. For example, bedtime, wake up time plus blah blah. Calculate those functions. Okay, why it's separated so your home screen doesn't become blah blah. But again, for MVP this may be 20-30 lines, so you could keep it in home screen. The history rules the same, the keys constants the same. So perfect. What I would do, just the logic folder, just keep it in this part. Okay, good, nothing offensive. So I'm gonna be removing this part. Now we have everything used in the parts. And what I wanted to check now is the readme. So Bedclock is a minimal, we'll see it in the version where Bedclock is a minimal Flutter application that helps you keep a consistent bedtime schedule. It focuses on clarity and routine, not sleep tracking analysis. Onboarding float, set wake up time and target sleep duration, automatically calculates bedtime from your schedule, home screen shows current time, bedtime and time left, go to bed action logs a sleep entry for the day, the history screen shows monthly status and streaks, perfect the settings and notifications, do those two, tech stack, it's the two dependencies, the project structure, the getting started, And yeah, good. Enough for me. So git status, git add status, git commit, add readme, and remove logic unused logic diff. Git push, and with that, we'll have this working here, and now it looks fine. So we see that it's using which languages, nothing there to say. And with that, I think it has become the longest video of the 4. But with these 4 videos, it took around 3 to 4 hours, maybe 3 to 3.5. We have an actual application that works, and now it's time for marketing. This first part, these four first hours are the ones that I enjoy the most, and I'm more used to it since, you know, my development background and everything, engineering. But those are important. The more important for me are now the ones to market, because I end up having applications that get 0 users at all. So, but yeah, that's things for tomorrow. I'll stop here now and continue with that in the next video. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you've been until this point, that I don't think so, remember to get a comment or get a subscription to my channel. It helped me keep motivated and continue building applications kind of live. That mentioning that I cannot be on live because basically I don't have enough subscribers, and that's the reason why I record videos instead of going live and keeping it there. That's all for today. Thank you, and see you with more the next day.